Good morning from the Liberia Senate Chamber on Capitol Hill. This is Spoon TV. We're coming to you live from the Capitol building, and this is the Liberian Senate Public Works Committee confirmation hearing for Minister Designate of the Ministry of Public Works, Mr. Roland L. Giddings, who was nominated by President Joseph Imambuaka to serve as Public Works Minister. And so, as you can see before your camera here, Mr. Giddings is already seated. On a moment from now, this confirmation hearing is going to start. My name is Aaron Kuban, bringing you this live coverage from the Liberian Senate. And so, former pro tem of the Liberian Senate, Abo Tiche, is the chairman of the Public Works Committee, and he's being co-chaired by Senator Edwin Snow, who is the immediate past chairman of the committee, and other members of the committee are already here. You see the likes of Senator Nathaniel McGill from Mangibi County, Senator Zoe Mano Pena of Grand Judea County, Senator Francis Dopo of River County. We also have Senator Creighton Duncan of Sano County, and Senator Poto Kane from Babalu County, and Senator Taylor of Grand Cape Mount County are all seated in preparation for this hearing. Now we turn over to the Sergeant Holmes to call this hearing to order.
Good morning. Mr. Chairman and members of the Senate Committee on Public Works. Today is the confirmation hearing of Honorable Roland L. Minister Designate, Minister of Public Works and Rural Development. Honorable President,
and so
distinguished senators,
opening prayer will be done by
Honorable Minister Designate, please permit me.
One of the chaplains of the Liberian Senate.
I will be praying. Please permit me to read few scripture and then just challenge you, and then I'll pray. We read from the book of Matthew, chapter 7, verses 16 to 20. Ye shall know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes of thorns and figs of figs? Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit. A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth fruit. Good tree, even tree that bringeth forth good fruit, is sheared down and cast into the fire. Wherefore, by their fruit ye shall know them. Honorable Minister Designate, I just want to ask a question. Who will you serve? Will you serve? Don't answer my question. Will you serve the public? Who will you serve? Will you serve the public or yourself? Note that if you serve yourself, then you'll be producing bad fruit. But if you serve the public as public work minister, you'll be producing good fruit. If you serve the Liberian people and the nations wholeheartedly with great conscience, and be sincere about your duty if confirmed, then you produce good fruit. But if you serve yourself, then you produce bad fruit. I have never seen the great men, one who also have great regard for getting vexed. But permit me to just say something quickly, then I'll pray. One time he was so vexed when the minister at the time came here with for some inquiry, and then he was saying something that was not true. And that was my first time seeing this great young man of our time, Giddings. Because he was saying something that he was aware of, and it was not true. I want you not be that type of minister. Do the work of the people. Do the work of the public. Do the work of our nation, if confirmed. May God bless you to do so. Let's pray. Father, we thank you for the great men of our time, Lord. They have come to perform their duty. Give them the wisdom and understanding, Lord, to perform well. That God, for them to draw that conclusion, Lord, to confirm or deny. Bless them to do so. God them to do so. In Jesus' name we pray.
And so that was the opening prayer there from the chaplain of the Liberian Senate. The sergeant at arms will qualify the witness on the stand, Mr. Roland L. Giddings, Public Works Minister designate. As you know, President Joseph Imam Boakar's arrest agenda captures rule as part of one of the errors in the arrest agenda. And so, Roland Giddings is captured.
Recollection is the truth.
It's the truth.
Nothing but the truth.
Nothing but the truth. So I think that.
Thank you. Thank you. I will ask senators to introduce themselves. Without Senator Snow,
Evan Snow, Senator of Bowling County, co-chair of the Committee on Public Works.
Albert Cloutier, Nepal's President for Temporary, now chair of the Committee on Public Works, because of the importance we Liberians, especially Southeasterners, attach to infrastructure. Senator Snow, the 54th legislature, he was the chair, so I asked him that I want to take over that responsibility so that people can know that this committee and that position with our public works, we the Southeasterners attach too much importance.
Chair, I'm Senator Francis Sendito II, Senator of Liberia County, member of the Committee of Public Works.
Old man talking, Senator of Final County. Just as the truth said, our eyes are on the Santi Road. Thank you.
I retired Representative Slash, Senator Zoe Madapen of Grand County, member of Public Works Committee.
Senator Butu Kame of Bolu County, member of this committee.
I'm Jonathan Borja Circuit, and I represent the people of Liberia.
I am Senator Simeon Montillo of Grand County, member of the committee.
Okay. So I will ask Senator. No, sorry. Yes, Senator Toko to read a protocol for the hearing.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Distinguished Senator, as per today's protocol, the nominee is given 50 minutes at most to make a presentation, after which the committee members will have each 10 minutes to interact with the nominee, followed by other senators here at the hearing. And the public, if having any concern or question, you forward that to the committee chair through the sergeant. There will be no clapping during this hearing. Thank you.
Okay, so I will make a small announcement as per the agenda. The Constitution says for certain positions the President shall nominate and the Senate must give its consent. So we have a series of procedures. The confirmation hearing is just one of the procedures, one of the processes that we go through. We have received some complaints from members of the public, from members of the Engineering Association, from some citizens concerning the nominee. Today we have the confirmation hearing. The confirmation hearing is not the end. After the hearing, we will go to committee room and we will look at all the complaints, and depending on what we see, depending on the evaluation, we could invite the minister designate at the committee room to see how we can answer some of those complaints, or individually be, depending on the gravity. So for those who have complained, the minister, we want to let you know that we're not sweeping your complaints on the carpet. We will look at the complaints, but the confirmation hearing is just one of the processes. That's what I wanted to announce. I will now ask Senator Snow, the former chair of this committee, and the current vice chair, to make introductory remarks.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Except that the agenda says opening remarks. But Mr. Chair, thank you very much. When I was appointed to this committee, reappointed as vice chair, and my chair happened to be my former immediate boss, Monrovia, who served the Liberian Senate with distinction for 6 years, or any conflict or any chaos. I felt it was an honor that veteran geologist, the astute administrator, was chairing the committee that I was chair. And today again, I want to reiterate, Mr. Chairman, fullest cooperation in working with you to move this committee forward. Mr. Nominee, I want to take this time to welcome you to the chamber of the Liberia Senate as you face your confirmation hearing. I personally believe that you are wearing you are having acts pending the Senate consent to wear the biggest shoes in the American government. The Holy Bible has 10 commandments. And of the 10 commandments, there's only one commandment God gave with a promise behind it. To honor your mother and your father so that the days will be long. I say this to say that with all of the promises that the White House administration had made, or the rescue team made, there was one that gave timeline to say in 100 days, no car will hitch on any major road. 84 more days left of the 100 days, and we're about to confirm or hear you on your vision. It's our hope of this committee that you will understand the magnitude of the post that you are trying to occupy. I wish you a successful hearing, chairman said, based on the outcome, we'll refer to the committee room where decision will be made pending plenary vote. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Vice Chair. I will now invite the Honorable Minister Designate, Roland L. Giddings, to lay out his vision, his plan, who are worried at his.
Thank you, Honorable Senator. Honorable Chair of the Senate.
I'm Abraham Dallas, I represent Monrovia County.
So, Honorable Chair of the committee, Senator Albert Chair, the co-chair, Honorable Neville Snow, and other distinguished members of the committee, the person that's here today with us, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Liberians. Permit me to firstly give God the glory for allowing us to assemble here today. And I also like to appreciate His Excellency Ambassador Joseph Waka, who have selected me to be designated as the Minister of Public Works and Rural Development. I am an enthusiastic and very professional person who enjoy driving agendas as well as leading an insightful and motivated team to achieve established goals. I'm very quick to adjust to new ideas and apply innovative solutions to solving contemporary problems. I am a self-starter and a very committed and achieving person, and have the interests of the general good of society as a core value. I'm currently the Chief Executive Officer of Liberia Services Incorporated, which is a management consultancy firm that conducts several studies in marketing research, investment advice, business development, project development plans, and also other management consultancy. I hold an undergraduate degree in management, money, and economics with distinction from the African Middle Episcopal University in 2001, and graduated from the Wuhan University of Science and Technology in China, Master's Specialty Marketing in 2006. I have to my credit 11 years of professional experience in the public sector, specifically in the infrastructure sector, with emphasis on project troubleshooting, coordination, monitoring, and evaluation. From 2007 to 2018, I served in several capacities. Program Assistant at the Liberia Reconstruction Development Committee Secretary, the unit in the presidency which was responsible to draft, launch, and coordinate the poverty reduction strategy, which put Liberia on the stage of recovery. While at the LRDC Secretary, I also served as a research associate in a comprehensive study on Liberia and China engagement sponsored by Rockefeller Foundation in collaboration with the African Center for Economic Transformation based in Accra, Ghana, in collaboration with Barclay Incorporated, a Liberian consultancy firm. I've acquired several professional certificates in policy and practices, managing special economic zone, national debt strategy, and also loan negotiation techniques from Crime Agent Debt Relief International. Having served in this capacity, I was hired again to manage the Economic Secretary of the Government of Liberia in 2009, a unit responsible to coordinate and formulate economic policy and revision and adjustment where necessary to stimulate economic growth. In 2009, under the World Bank project, the Albert Rural Infrastructure Rehabilitation Project, the President's Delivery Unit was established, responsible to coordinate and deliver on strategic project national infrastructure as defined by the President at the time. And that was to bring lasting results to the development of our national infrastructure, roads, energy, ports, seaports, water sanitation, and as well as construction relating to public building and the ministerial complex in the annex of this legislature was one of the projects that I worked with. In 2014, I was then having served in the presidency for 7 years in very strategic positions. Was appointed as Deputy Minister for Administration at the Ministry of Public Works, responsible to perform and coordinate administrative activities, including financial management and control, monitoring and evaluation, system reporting to ensure accountability and transparency of project financing, procurement, budget implementation, human resource activities, fiscal asset management, resettlement action planning implementation, and I was the chair for the Internal Reform Committee with focus on payroll restructuring, the establishment of the road fund, leading to the development of a draft act, which we have also established the road authority. And this is something that I'm committed to. The Ministry of Public Works was also supposed to be transformed to what you call the National Infrastructure Ministry to focus on policy, standards, and regulation. And that's something that I'm committed to. In addition to my extracurricular activities, I served as president of the African Methodist Episcopal University Student Union in 2001 as a young student, graduate. I also served as the first president of the AV University Alumni Association. I also served as the president of the Greater Monrovia Lions Club, which is an offspring of Lions International, the biggest charitable organization in the world. I served recently and continue to do as instructor at the African Methodist Episcopal University, teaching business policy and strategy, and also at the United University. Function of the Ministry of Public Works. What is its function? The Act established the Ministry of Public Works makes it responsible to design, construct, rehabilitate, supervise, improve, and maintain highways, bridges, roads, streets, airports, seaports, and other public facilities. That is, the Ministry of Public Works is involved with horizontal and vertical construction. The Ministry has 3 departments: technical services, community services and rural development, and administration, human resource, and personnel welfare development. I'm very passionate about this because I know to get job done, you must work with and through people. As it stands at the Ministry of Public Works, the Human Resource Division has reported that we have 635 employees, 517 male, 118 female. Staff includes inclusive staff, 55, 57, civil 7, 78, contractors, consultants, and 25 directors. The current total annual wage bill at the Ministry of Public Works, 3.3 million. Of course, this is something that we need to study. There's an urgent need to review the payroll to answer the following questions. For example, who gets what? Is the wage bill equitably distributed based on qualification and competence? Who are those who are called contractors and consultants? Honorable Senators, if you can agree with me, highly motivated employees will be ready to make sacrifices, especially when it is required by the Ministry of Public Works to supervise projects. Our goal is to increase the morale and motivate employees so that they're able to yield the best outcome and reduce absenteeism, increase performance level, and also be ready to work under strenuous conditions. Training and capacity building at the Ministry of Public Works will be a priority. And that is something that I performed when I was Deputy Minister of Administration at the Ministry of Public Works. Financial management and procurement. In an effort to ensure fiscal prudence at the Ministry of Public Works, the Ministry is charged with the responsibility to prepare and execute an approved budget by the legislature in line with the Public Financial Management Act of 2009, the PPCC Act of 2010. If I'm confirmed as Minister of Public Works, I will encourage financial management control to execute effective budget administration to ensure transparency and accountability. This effort exactly will safeguard the resources against the abuse of our resources, which champion the cause of fight against corruption. We will enforce Procurement Committee in strict compliance with the PPCC Act, and also the Budget Committee for strict compliance with the Public Financial Management Act to ensure financial prudence. Contribution of the Ministry of Public to the national budget. Building a tax compliance culture. The Ministry will ensure guidance to educate the public on the level of compliance required for one to issue construction permits and other permits. A period will be given for the public to comply with standards before we launch this enforcement. The Ministry will work alongside with the National Police to enforce compliance of being in possession of permit before commencing any construction. We will strengthen the institutional capacity of the zoning division to enhance effective revenue mobilization and improve non-tax revenue collection from permits and certificates. A special task force will be trained and deployed to conduct compliance audits and identify violators. Over the past 6 years, the Ministry generated $2,269,000 as its contribution to the national budget. I believe the Ministry has the capacity to increase or double said amount. Overview of the National Road Network infrastructure. Recent studies have shown that the inventory conducted by the Ministry of Public Works in 2019 recorded Liberia to have 13,000 kilometers of roads across the country, in all categories, primary, secondary, and rural roads. Out of this amount, 8.7%, which is just 1,440 kilometers of this road network are paved, which is primary. The primary road constitutes 18% of the entire road network, of which 23% of the primary and major roads are paved. 77% are unpaved. That's a huge amount. Additionally, about 36% of the primary or major roads are in good condition. This is due to the fact that primary road network is predominantly characterized, most of them that lateral, but asphalt, and majority also lateral. There are only 72 kilometers of paved road out of the 2,500 of secondary roads. That's a huge amount. 72 out of 2,005. Why? 20 kilometers out of 7,500 of the feeder roads, a lot to be done. Maintenance work on lateral road across the country has been done by the government to see that, and they completed the amount of 895 kilometers of feeder roads across the country. An additional of 220.8 kilometers of feeder roads under procurement for rehabilitation and periodic maintenance should be taking place in Bapuru, Bump, Grand Basin, Mount, Grand Cape Mount, Nimba, Lofa, and Rangila counties. Our bridge condition in our road network. The inventory condition data for bridges and culverts was collected through a survey by the Bridge Union Administration of Public Works in 2016. Out of 2,448 bridges, 432 bridges were found to be in excellent condition. That is appalling. A total of 7,593 culverts have been also inventoried, and out of that, more than 50% of concrete pipe culverts, box culverts, and other culverts are in excellent condition, whereas 30% of the corrugated pipe culverts are found to be in bad condition. That means we have road corridors that we need to do real bridges. Some of our road corridors are occupied by lost bridges. Let me give an overview of the road fund, which is very key to our development agenda in terms of raising domestic revenue for supporting our road infrastructure. The Road Fund Act of 2016, Section 2.43 states that the authority approved by the government to collect user charges shall transfer the fund to the fund account as defined in the Act. The law contradicts the PFMU of 2009, which also states that all government revenue must be deposited into the consolidated account. This ambiguity has led to loss of the road fund revenue that should have been related directly to the escrow of those accounts. This is just one example of the ambiguities in the law that we need to correct to ensure transparency and accountability in the administration of the fund. And Honorable Senator, I believe the Road Fund Act should be revisited, especially for the movement of funds from where generated into the escrow account as established by law. The National Road Fund was operationalized using just only one source: road user charge collected for fuel length. The other form of road user charges, vehicle registration, driver licenses, foreign vehicle entry levy fees, and charges to vehicle users on the roads have not been collected. Recently, the road fund by itself conducted a study that shows that we could be able to raise up to 50 million, and we are able to optimize or put into operationalization the other sources, to include also setting up toll stations on some of our major corridors. And that's something that the road fund will do. The road fund is something that I was involved with in 2015-16, and I believe it is a good domestic financial architecture to raise resources for investment in the road corridor. Report has also shown that the remittance are between 45 to 93% from the Ministry of Finance and NRA to the road fund. I think as a country we have not been sincere to ourselves. The road fund is established exclusively for road maintenance and road rehabilitation, and I think we should do that. My strategy, or our strategy as a ministry for investment in road infrastructure. Road remains a critical infrastructure for development of our country. This is why the government and REST agenda highlights road as a major catalyst to drive economic prosperity. The availability of quality road network will unlock the potential of both agriculture and other industries such as tourism and spur economic growth and development across the country. Our administration will adopt a strategic approach to attract the needed resources. Our road network investment program will focus on these areas: road investment, to include construction, rehabilitation, maintenance of existing and new roads. Sustainable efforts will be focused on roads, bridges, accident load control management, toll system, and I'm emphasizing toll system, road safety, and institutional reform. We'll focus on outlining the institutional policy to improve management efficiency in the sector. We will reinforce appropriate investment in roads and bridges to expand access across the country, which we are doing. We'll continue the pavement of highways connecting county capitals to create access to the region and other places. We'll pave highways that connect Liberia to neighboring countries, which is part of what we call the Trans-West African Highway. We'll continue to construct and upgrade secondary and feeder roads where the majority of our road networks are. And this will enhance farmers' access to local markets and sustainable agricultural development.
Oh, yes.
Finalizing the establishment of the National Road Fund to have oversight, the National Road Authority. Let me say that again. We will finalize the establishment of the National Road Authority. This is something that I was involved with, and I think it's good to have a National Road Authority to focus only on the construction, rehabilitation, and maintenance of our road network. We will ensure and continue to ensure accountability in the road fund management to bring back donors' confidence to put funds into the road fund. And I think this is a good way of raising resources out of contracting concessional loan, domestic way which is not tied to any payback. It will be something that I think we should do, and the road fund is a good architecture for that. So, the 100-day deliverable. This is the approach. President Ambassador Joseph Walker made a public announcement that upon taking office, his government will invest in a road project that will ensure no vehicle gets stuck in the mud within primary road corridors during the rain season. This policy statement we are committed to, and I've angled our methodology on the following strategy approach. 1, there will be a full engineering assessment within the corridor, all primary corridors, and the focus will be on critical spot. The intent is to bring critical spot up to pliability with the rest of the corridor. 2, There will be revision of all contracts that are existing in those corridors to be sure there were performance and that those contracts met the basic requirement in law. We'll redeploy or reactivate contracts where possible after these reviews, and they're already taking place. We show that there are logistics available for project engineers at the Ministry of Public Works to be assigned in this corridor. The intent is to also hire contractors with the technical and financial competence proven to provide such service. Because we know to be able to deliver on that in the next 30 days, it means you must have companies with the capacity. So we're going for companies with the capacity. Our engineering approach will focus on applying borders where possible in those corridors. And we'll also do boot clearings, reshipping, compaction. We apply new materials where possible. We also do roadside drenching and cleaning, which also hampers drainage system and is able to create problems for deterioration of the corridor. We also get involved technically with some of the overhanging trees that are on the carriageway. Just like that, they also affect the corridor. For procurement, the contracting method, we're going to use what you call the Apple-based contracting method. That means the contractors are not just going to use quantity in the different corridors. They're going to be responsible for the corridor over a period, and the output of the contract is no car gets stuck in the mud. So the way we pay contractors in this corridor after work will be during the rains, the corridor must remain pliable. That means the contractors will have to keep a gang in the corridor with equipment throughout. And our engineers will monitor these corridors also to make sure no car gets stuck in the mud. If car does get stuck in the mud, the intent is to also, the formula in the contract will be to reduce the payment. So there will be a reduction on payment for the quantity of cars getting stuck in the mud. We're developing the contracts in that way. For procurement, the procurement method we're looking to use, of course, will be descriptive, which will allow us to do it quicker or single source. And by the procurement law, single source and descriptive billings are legal. And so we will avail ourselves to the procurement, the PPCC, and make sure we can do that in the next 2 weeks, if I'm confirmed by this body. Early opening. The 100-day deliverable, President Barker is also concerned about the congestion in our cities.
Minister,
Where people
I want to cut it off. We'll give you 15 minutes. We're going within 20. We got to run.
Okay. Thank you. So there will be early opening up in different communities across Monrovia and other cities in the 100 days. We'll also institute drainage cleaning system. When I was at the Ministry of Public Works, we did drainage cleaning system every year before the rain season. And that helped with flooding that would create disaster in our communities. The road fund will also be something that we're going to look at. We're going to ensure that we're able to bring more resources to the road fund. The intent is to re-engage the European Union, which was very key in providing feasibility studies on some of our corridors. Gabriel Tucker Bridge to go on the side, Buchanan into Sister City, into Mbake, which is part of the coastal harbor. We're definitely going to do that. We're also going to look for joint venture expenditures in terms of how we are able to support investment in our road sector. We'll look for private investors. We're going to do PPP, which can also be done to be able to bring resources, and that is where the toll system will be used. Fellow senators, I'm excited to be here today and thank you for having me. To close on this presentation, I would like to give special recognition to my late father, and today is his birthday. Happy birthday, Dad. Also to my mom, who has been so well to me in terms of discipline and everything that I know today, my education and everything. Mama, wherever you are, thank you. So my family and friends that are here, thank you. to my darling wife on my left hand. She has been so of my strength. Thank you, Mrs. Giddings. May God continues to bless our country as we begin this journey to national recovery. I thank you.
So the Public Works Minister designate just made his presentation.
Thank you, the Chairman, distinguished colleagues. I'm Senator Prince, came away from Bond County.
Senator Councilor Joseph Kolago Patonjala.
Chairman, other distinguished colleagues present for this hearing. My name is Momo Cyrus. I come from Monrovia County Center. Again, it's important to note that I'm a member of this committee. Thank you. I am nominating T.H. Batekwa. I represent the people of Grand Group.
My name is
I'm Jimmy Fine from Maryland.
I will now invite Senator to make a comment, ask a question, about 10 minutes for the question and response. I will now invite Senator Mangel.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The nominee, listening to your qualification, I'm understanding you have worked with the Ministry of Public Works, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
When were you employed in the Ministry of Public Works, and how long you worked for?
So I was appointed as Deputy Minister in 2014 for administration at the Ministry of Public Works. So from 2014 to 2018 January.
4 years. Am I correct to say that most of the contracts that were signed between that period and you fully know most of the company was public?
Of course, contracts that were signed within that period, yes, because the procurement committee was a committee that was part of. Yes.
Are you aware of any contract that was signed in 2017 to do asphalt pavement? Concrete asphalt pavement?
Okay, so asphalt pavement or concrete or rigid pavement?
Rigid pavement.
Rigid pavement. Yes, of course, yes, I was.
Do you know some of the companies that were giving such contracts?
Yes, of course.
Can you name 2 or 3 for me?
Well, it was one company, and it was East International.
What year was it?
Actually, I think 2017. Yes. And that's to do rigid pavement. Community road.
And what was the value of the contract?
The contract, I won't remember off my head, but I think the value was anywhere around 50-something million. And that was also, included also the Giddings Road and other communities road in Monrovia. Yes.
Was that in the contract?
Well, there was an initial contract, but in 2017, that was a new contract, I remember. Yes.
And your contract that was signed by Julie Moore with East International amounted to $19.5 million.
Yes, that contract was prior to the other contract spoken about. Yes, it was a pilot project, so it was not 2017.
Come again?
It was not 2017.
For letter, yeah, that was 2017 January.
No, it was a pilot project, Senator.
Pilot project with $20 million pilot project?
Yeah, it was to do 3 community roads. I know it was engineered by the engineering department. It was to do 3 community roads. So the roads were the Smart Road, the Timber Village Road, and the road behind BTC. And that was the pilot project.
So that was 20 million, correct?
Yeah.
So after 20 million, you get either another $57 million contract, correct?
Okay, so we didn't get each one, the contract through a procurement process, went to the PPCC, sanctioned by the PPCC chair by Devojana. So the contract was awarded procurement by the procurement process.
So he's got a legitimate contract, correct?
Oh yes, of course. They have legitimate contracts.
So they have the capacity to do the road, correct?
Excuse me, please. Excuse me, please.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, please. Please. Those of you in the gallery, if you continue, we ask you to leave. The Ministry of Public Works is not a political ministry. We know it is a technical ministry. If you continue your noise, I will get information. We'll ask you to leave the gallery. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. It's a good way to get clarification because I want to go to either East, they got contract in 2019. So in 2017, when some of the Liberian government, you get East contract for almost $20 million. Is that correct?
They won a contract through the bidding process, competitive bidding process, yes.
So let me ask you, Mr. Minister, what is the Liberia road system as the Minister designate Liberia road system for the last 100 years? Since I've been knowing myself, we've been doing road, asphalt road over and over. And every time the reason kind of road is destroyed, why do you think it's a problem? Why do you think I've been alleged that or used to that?
Okay, so if it's on lateral road, which we say dirt road,
yeah.
One of the reasons I think that has happened, especially of recent the way the maintenance were done was not like I'm trying to do now, to do the maintenance based on performance. It was like you decide for a contractor to do a particular work within a period. And so when they go into the corridor, it's a 50-kilometer corridor, they get the work done. You don't do proper compaction test to make sure the road is compacted properly. The drain is done, not very okay. And so in my mind, right after the rain season, the road should deteriorate. So we should move beyond that, giving contractors contracts.
Do you think the good idea for continue spending money on lateral road every year? Okay, maybe $10 million, $20 million for the road damage again, we'll go back again, we'll get a cement or $20 million to the road.
Okay, so
it's a good idea.
It's not a good idea, but the current condition, because we do not have, we need almost to pave our road.
So let me ask you a question. What do you think, how many kilometer road can a $10 million US million do with asphalt? How many kilometer road?
Okay, 10 million currently.
Just give an example.
Yeah,
What is it 10? Maybe 10,
you could maximize, if you go through a competitive bidding process with $10 million, you will get up to 12, 13 kilometers of road with that. From a competitive process, you can get up to 12, 13 kilometers with $10 million.
You think it would be a good idea for us to change our road construction methodology to asphalt pavement with a small amount of resources? You think it would be a good thing?
Well,
or should we just continue with primary road now? I'm talking about secondary road, because secondary road there are too many. But primary road, you think we just continue with the principles and say the dead pavement?
Okay, so we shouldn't, but the cost to invest in our road network is very expensive. If for any reason we have a lot of money, I would say we seal our roads. We receive about $2,000.
What is your current knowledge on the road from Atlanta to Harper? What is your current knowledge?
So I can say to you, senators, that we have funding currently to cover the entire stretch up to River G. All right. So from downtown to Saklipi, we already have a contractor doing work there, and that's paid for by the government out of the road fund. Let me commend the last government for initiating that project. That's 39 kilometers up to Cycle B. It's been done already by SECO. From Cycle B to Tapeta, we have Channel River 7, the same company that's constructing the road from Sanikoli to Lukato, which is part of the Trans-West African Highway. So that corridor is covered. They're working currently. From Tapeta to Tostown is about 40 kilometers. SECO just won the project under the secret, the Southeastern Corridor Road Access Management Project. We initiated that project in 2015. So SECO just won the contract to do the 40 kilometers, and they'll be mobilizing hopefully by July. They're waiting for what you call the bound resident studies. The banking, that place is occupied by a lot of chimpanzees.
Okay, so my...
Yeah, I'll be with you.
Yeah.
And so from Tostown to Zwedru to the border, there's this project you call the Rural Economic Transformation Project under the agriculture. It's called RETRAC. They've put out resources for that corridor. So right now, they've done all the bidding documents. The procurement process was to start. So I can simply say by the end of July, we will have contractors on the entire corridor up to Zwedru working. Beyond Zwedru, currently, Chico is working from Fishtown up to Kilibo Kawikia. They are in the middle, it's about 31 kilometers. They're working. We have 100 kilometers left. They already concluded African Development Bank to fund from Kilibo to Georgetown, which is 50 kilometers. The fund is available. The procurement process will soon start. And the board has finally agreed on the balance 48 kilometers up to Zwedru. So we can simply say, by 2028 to 2029, if all of us work together, and I'm saying all of us, the executive and the legislature, because some of these financing agreements have to come to you. And the faster we'll be able to rectify them for the approval of disbursement meeting the precondition, we can drive to happen by 2028, 2029.
So you still shouldn't have problems right now?
Yes.
Only everything costs.
Except on the other side. Except on the other side.
Until the pavement has taken place. So okay, let me ask you. Can you tell me all the roads have been built in Liberia? Can you tell me two more questions? Can you tell me which one of the roads? Can you name 3 of the best roads in Liberia?
Okay.
In terms of construction.
Yeah.
In terms of construction.
Well, so you want to go in trouble with I will try to do so. I think the Japan Freeway is one of the best roads. And the reason why it is because from what you call the subgrade, that is from the foundation of the road, up to the base, the sub-base, up to the base coast. The Japanese, believe in quality and high standard. Majority of what they used were aggregate. They did not use a lot of lateral. So the foundation of that road is very, very strong. That road could last us for almost 7,500 years if we maintain it. And the maintenance is to keep the drainage working well. That's one of the best roads we have here. I know there are some maintenance that will take place on the rail line to Giddings border road, but once we continue, and I'm happy that we have the road fund to maintain, the carriageway properly, make sure there are cleanliness of drainage, the roads will last, especially for asphalt road. So that is also a very good corridor. And the corridor up to Buchanan from Coventry is also good, but we need to continue with maintenance. And that's why we drive on the Buchanan road. We haven't experienced any pothole ever since the road was built. But what we need to do is to continue with maintenance. And just the grass and the bush that comes onto the road to stop the water from going off the road. Asphalt does not like water sitting on it because once it stays on it, there's pressure so that you can easily find some of the road deteriorating. So these are some of the good roads we have in the country.
I have more questions. My last question. You think it's a good idea that we do what we call, I know we call it project identification, road project identification. So Say for instance, we allocate resources to the project so we can do assess and evaluate whether or not those roads are done. You know, you're good. Then they're giving you bulk amount and say probably we have 100 million and go spend it on any road. You'll be good to identify the road and probably and say, these are the roads we want to do in 2027, in 2024. These are the roads we want to do. Then we'll allocate resources to that at the end of the day. We can make an assessment to say, okay, we told probably where to do 10 roads, 10 major roads. We get maybe feeder road, rehabilitation, but we identify 10 major roads. And these are the roads we want to do. It may not be a good idea.
Okay, since Public Works is the ministry responsible for identifying roads that should be built, yes, Public Works should do that. You are talking about project budget, and that's like the medium-term expenditure framework, identifying roads and making sure the resources are available, and who is responsible for completion. I would agree. I think it's a very good idea for us to begin doing that. So this year, you say we identify 10 kilometers that must be paid, and the money or the resources are made available to the Ministry of Public Works. You can now hold Public Works accountable because the resources was made available through the budget. I do agree. That is project-based. I do agree.
Thank you. Senator Penham.
Thank you. Honorable Minister Designate, I heard my colleague, Senator Mangio, ask you a question concerning the Southeastern corridor. Explain. But I want to ask, do you believe barrow conditions is a security threat? Also, do you believe that barrow conditions?
I don't believe it is a threat to security. Yes. All the security, economic, health, and it's
very good. Question I want to ask you. Yes, I agree in the future about 2029, 2027, 2028, 2026, we get the field road from Liberia to Monrovia to Maryland to Roland to San. I agree. What do we do within that time? As we speak, by April, from Liberia to Dreadwood, immediately rain season, from Liberia to Dreadwood, the road cut off, and believe me, 1 bag of cement, the price will go up to $25 for the road condition. Bag of rice will go up to $4,000. Gasoline, gallon of gasoline or fuel, travel $3,000. At the end, I will suffer. So, after will come in the next 3, 4, 5 years, what will we do? They come in dry season, or they come in rain season. For our people, at least the $600 they buy gasoline and fuel, but that price will be maintained. The $2,000 they buy the rice for, but that price will be maintained until another dry season. As a minister, there's the April firm, what you think is Eastern or other counties, like Bapu, River G, and you think our people will enjoy a new policy like President is going to bring for all in the water days. And we show that our people are not going to suffer the kind of racism. I'm going to be clear.
Thank you, Honorable Senator. When I was presenting, I laid out what's going to happen in 100 days. Ambassador Barker, President Ambassador Barker, announced a no-cow next up in the month. If I'm to be confirmed as the Minister of Public Works, I'm challenged with that responsibility. We've already started laying out what we will do. That corridor will be taken care of before the rain. We are committed to that. The corridor from Tapeta up to Zwedru will be taken care of. The corridor from Zwedru up to Kilibo will be taken care of. The corridor from Saleh up to Vajima will be taken care of. Vajima to Miskoma to Foya will be taken care of. Grand Basso, Chester Junction, ITI, Greenville will be taken care of.
I heard you.
Papu will be taken care of.
The Minister of Destiny, I heard you saying you have the people on the highway monitoring the contractors, right? If If Sopero is going to grant you in his left hand, and I guess talking that more, it will not be P, right?
Yeah, we already developed the contract.
Okay. Okay, beside the contractor, those who supervise the contractor and the head of the ministry, what should be the question for you guys to do?
Okay, so the conditions that we lay out in the contract, the contractors will agree with the conditions. So it's almost like once they go contrary to that, what punishment they lay out in the contract will be what we apply. So if we do not apply it, then we can be held responsible. But our intent would be not to get to the point where we are the contractors are overhead, but to provide the leadership required. And that leadership would mean we have to be who we should be as ministers assigned or project engineers assigned to the project. So I'm not saying that will not happen, but if we do, what we said based on the contract will be applied.
Thank you. Do you believe, we have that bureau, have that understanding when new government comes in, the whole official or employee at the ministerial agency, some of them will want to leave, or the new administration will say, this is our time. Do you believe, as a professional person, former deputy minister of administration, all the problems at the time pass through your office before HR? Do you believe the numbers that you are naming now to all, is the amount of people working in the department, are they qualified for this new administration to maintain there, or you want to do the same old like where we put other people out and bring your people in?
Well, again, I think what we have to do is to do, audit, of credential audit, just to be sure of the people that are in certain positions, because there are certain competence required for you being in certain positions. So we do some credential audit just to be sure. But when I was appointed as Deputy Minister of the Ministry of Public Works with Minister Mo, we did not just move people around, no. Especially when those people were competent in the position. We let them and we work with them. And the thing about my personality, I know how to get people to work. I know how to motivate people to work. And so for me, once the competence is there, we do that. And even if it's not at the level, we provide training. We have a lot of people when we're at the Ministry of Public Works that got several training. BPAC, some of them went to China, different countries, and they got trained because of what we did. So we're not just going to go start moving people around. We don't want to do that. It's not going to be something that we will do.
Honorable Minister of Destiny, another question. Do you believe from Giddings Bridge through Baton is a national highway? Before I come to my statement, do you believe that from Giddings Bridge to all the way to a national highway?
It's a deplorable national highway.
Very good. Thank you. The reason I'm asking you a question, now by the grace of God, it's confirmed by the Senate, Minister of Destiny. What will you do? Companies that took millions of dollars from our taxpayers to construct that road, to do rehabilitation on that road. Up to now, $3.7 million US went in people's pockets for the past 2-3 years. Get that 6-mile road cannot be fixed. If confirmed, what will you tell this committee in plenary or the laboratory in the next 20 to 25 days about a particular international highway from Giddings Bridge went all the way to Freetown? That believe is a national highway, and company went through the bidding process. We agreed, went and grabbed the taxpayer money for the past 3 to 4 years. They're using the money in different projects for their own personal advertisement, and the laboratory are suffering. Went through the barrels. What will you do if confirmed in the next few hours or the next week to come? What will you do?
So it's not just that corridor. There are several corridors where contract was awarded, whether competitively or not, but they were awarded. We will do an audit on all the contracts if I'm confirmed as minister. Come back to the committee with the report of what the audit says. On that corridor, I know the Japanese have committed to to rehabilitate from Gilbert Bridge to Freeport. In fact, hopefully by next week, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, if should be signing on the grant agreement. And that grant agreement should be used to finance that corridor. I know there was a contract awarded from Freeport up to Seaport Bridge. We will investigate the contract, see where that contract is. And if that contract has not started, which I don't think it has started in a significant way, and it's proven, the contractor will start it. Trust me. But not just that. Any other project for the matter of fact, I think that will happen. So that rule will be looking okay very soon. Take that from me. I promise you.
Thank you. With my 1 minute, I want to tell you that you're a professional person. You worked at the ministry before, and I know you know what to do. So if confirmed by this committee, I know you'll do your best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Nominee, in your presentation, you said you serve as president of area areas. I hope you serve as president for the Ministry of Public Works, if confirmed. Now to my question, because you have almost answered all the questions in your presentation. But you said something about the companies with the capacities. So, we got some Liberian engineers, contractors that have few trucks or few equipments. And we got the foreigners that have large equipment. So I want to understand from you, what capacity are you speaking about?
So on each of capacity, there's category of contractors, and that's why the Ministry of Public Works will have A category, B, and C, and that is in line with the technical capacity. That means the kind of staff we have that are engineers who can do road works, the equipment that they have, put them in certain categories. So it's not just because you're a Liberian company, for example, then you are in category A when you do not meet the basic requirement. So if you have all of the requisite requirement, you get yourself into that category. So when I say technical capacity, this is what I'm talking about. That if, say for example, a 50-kilometer road will be awarded to a company that has equipment, say 2 sets of equipment, okay? The basic pieces of equipment. So the person has a motor grader, they have front end loader, trucks, backhoe, excavator, just the basic pieces of equipment that can be used to do roads. They have that. Put them in a category for such kilometers. A 100-kilometer road, for example, will require different sections. So you need more equipment to get the work done. So there's category, when I say technical capacity, I'm talking about a category based on the kilometer road that they will be doing. So the Liberian company will have capacity to do certain work at that level. But you can take a 100-kilometer road and give it to a company, not only a Liberian company, even a foreign company that has not much to have both the technical and financial capacity. You can, and what if I follow my administration, you will win the contract because you get disqualified before you get into the bid by the fact that you do not have the requisite requirement to be a participant in that contract.
Yeah, I understand that part of it because we don't want to be spectator in our own country. Yeah, I told you before that you gave me all my answers as you have called Bakuru's name in the presentation and satisfied. But then when you answer the question to my colleague that you will do audits on credentials, I don't think that is sufficient. You should do audit on corruption too. That's my advice to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Like I said, my name is Momo Cyrus. this community. Mr. Nubili. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Good afternoon, sir. I've known him for quite a long time, and I know that the president did not make a mistake to have you appointed this very important position. Do you have the temperament, the zest, and the ability to manage this very important ministry called the Ministry of Public Works?
Yes, I do. And I'd like to, just hearing up to Minister Moore, Julie Moore, served as Deputy Minister for Administration. He gave me the opportunity to run the ministry. And the people know me. When I'm serious, I'm serious, and they know I'm serious. So yes, I have the temperament to work with people. I'm a people person, but I have very strong principles that I don't easily bend. And sometimes people come across me as being difficult, but that's okay. I like that.
Thank you. In your presentation, you talk about contracts reviews and audit. I was glad when I heard that because I happen to represent Monrovia County, one of the counties that have a Department of Road Commission. And one of my campaign messages was that road between Salary to Voidman to Malcolm, all of the regime as senator has to be paid. We will do everything possible, we will negotiate with government, we will sit with you, we will talk to international partners, make sure that road is paid. I have had an experience, I did my own investigation of contractors present on the road, rehabilitating the road. What I came to learn is that many a times the Minister of Public Works will award contracts, and the official of the Ministry of Public Works will go back for kickback. For instance, you can elaborate company to rehabilitate the road from Colombia to Georgetown, for instance. And the contractor tells me that I was squeezed to bid for $600,000 or $700,000 US dollars. And then an official of the Ministry of Public will come back for $200,000. I have to get it. I mean, all the administration, and I would be interested in the audit, especially from the Monument corridor, to see who are the contractors and the amount I was giving them and whether they actually utilize that amount. Will you be willing to have a situation aborted under the administration as a Minister of Public Works?
I like the question. And the reason I'm saying I like the question because that question is me. When I was the Minister of Public Works, Deputy Minister for Administration, and I will always recognize Minister who gave me the opportunity to manage the ministry at that level. I have a meeting with contractors, and who this is public. And I said to contractors, if any minister or deputy minister asks you for any money for any reason that is not related to the job that they should do, let us know. It was bad that I did that. But I did that. And it works. It helps. I will say this. And as Minister of Public Works, if I'm confirmed, that issue of corruption and kickbacks that affects contracts and road works, it's not going to happen in our ministry. If any minister, deputy, assistant, whoever get involved in that, consider yourself in trouble. I did that before and I will do it again. And let me say that this is one of the problems in the sector. It's corruption. People don't talk about it, but yes. And the contractors will not refuse because, and that is why it's good for us to institute competitive bidding process. When the project is competitive, it takes away all of those issues. When it's negotiated, that is where you have kickbacks. And my point is, let's stick with the procurement law. Let's stick with what the PLM law says. That takes away all of what you're talking about. And if that happens, people get in trouble. But I'm the person who thinks corruption has hurt this country, and we should continue to fight it. And I'm going to be another person who will do that, because I did that when I had the Minister of Controls. Yes.
Thank you. My next point has to do with the President's speech or his commitment to get the road plywood in the country. He said 90 days. Mr. Minister, as a professional person, somebody who has the expertise in this area, is that achievable?
So let me say that it is achievable. And the strategy that we use, and as I said, on the procurement method, we are going to do restricted bidding, which will come to procurement time, or single source. We have a contractor already working in our corridor, a very large contractor that has the capacity. I know there are 2 contractors in our corridor between Salary up to Monrovia, and they have not done any work. We'll have to just remove them and see if we can extend a company that has the capacity. It is doable, because once the president said, in 100 days, no car should get stuck in the mud. I think the first road should be on the Lufa Road. If you get stuck on the Lufa Road, then that is a problem. So we definitely want to get to that. And then the intent would be to deal with the critical spot, to bring the road up to 500, even if it's not perfect in terms of the carriageway. Yes, we will.
Okay, so another issue dealing with the Lufa Road have been almost all the highways in Liberia. I see driving from Monrovia to Buchanan smooth. I see driving from Monrovia to Kansas smooth. But I see another, I would say, created road from St. Paul Bridge to Sally. I mean, the roads, if you look at the grills, the structure, the different structure. How do we get with that? Is it that the people from Monrovia to Kansas or to Sanniquellie, the road's better than the road from St. Paul to Sally? Why that? What's the differences in the grade of the roads being constructed?
Okay, Senator, we're grateful that we have the Arab infrastructure that is by there, the Saudis, Abu Dhabi, all of them came together hoping to support that project. We are happy that they did that. But I'm one of those who also have issue with that because it is one layer. It's not double layer. That's the problem. And it was designed like that. So I said we have to take responsibility as a government and put a second layer. So from Banga to Sahel is one layer. Now going beyond up to Konya, we have to get involved with them and say we can continue with one layer. Because the road is a national highway. If it goes into Bonjima up to Fuya, Minikoma, to the Sierra Leone border, it becomes a national highway. We cannot continue with one layer. But it was designed like that because it was initially with that though it's concessional, but they provide the money and it was designed that way. We're trying to make sure going beyond that, and the African Development Bank is doing another study to finalize from Bonjima up to Minikoma. It's going to be double layer, we'll make sure. But between Banga up to Salahi, up to Konya, Bonjima, it's one layer for now, and we can't continue with one layer going forward. That is why you see it look like that. It's only one layer and not 2 layers, which will make it look like the other roads that you're talking about. Because I mean, just have the binding coast and not the full wiring coast to make it a full asphalt road. Just one layer.
Thank you. Thank you. One major thing you spoke about that fascinates me, the issue about the maintenance of the road. Yes, if we have a road that is going to be maintained, no matter how much money we spend in it, it will last. What's your own strategy regarding community involvement? Because many years when we were growing up, the communities, the township, The clients were involved with brushing the road. I don't see that happening anymore. I raised it as I went volume, I raised it with the client chiefs. Why are we not involved with our road maintenance? Why started and you use it to get the community involved with the maintenance of the road?
So we're going to be active in that. Because when we were at the Ministry of Public Works, we tried to ensure that roadside brushing is key, which is part of the maintenance process. And we cannot have the National Road Fund, which is for maintenance. 60% of the fund should be for maintenance. And just to do roadside brushing is something that we can do. So it's just a program. We have the community services and we work with our technical department to get into the communities and do that. Those villages and towns along these corridors, there are people that are looking for jobs. So you get a small company hired to do roadside brushing between, say, Cotton Tree to Buchanan. And they can go along the different towns and hire people to work and pay them. That's something that we will initiate because for me, maintenance is key to the sustainability of our road network. We can build the road and unable to continue. We can have a maintenance infrastructure which provide the resources and we are not doing it. So I think it's just a lack of programming and organization. And that's something that we will do.
Thank you so much. My last question has to do with the Monrovia Highway. I almost missed my flight a few days ago when I was traveling out of the country, and because there's a huge traffic on the road right now. Mr. Minister, under your administration as Minister of Public Works, when do we expect the road to come to an end, to be paid and completed?
So the RI Highway is, we will go in there and look at the entire project, okay? That project is a little complicated, let me say that to you, honorable senators, but we look to it. I see that it has started working more faster since the election. I hope that the quality standard assurance is taken seriously, but we will audit the project and see what that project is. There are some issues with it, but I don't have all the details. So if you get me confirmed as minister, I'll come back to you with what the project looks like and with some of the details you asked.
Thank you, Mr. Nominee. You got my vote.
Otherwise, community not do that. We determine community rule.
Honorable Chair, distinguished Senator, let me say first that on my disclosure, I come to know this again for a very long time. You need my same, was in the same college. So then, later on, I go up for me as a student president. You know, his academic record, his work that he has shown at several areas. We need to have that at every committee. So I have to say that. So I want to go to his qualification on specific policy issue. I'd like to know first that, let me just say this clear, Mr. Nominee, that I have a problem with the East International Road, RIA Road, because I see it as a financial agreement. I was shocked to have seen as a financial agreement, the government spending about $40 million on the road for the government side. We need to look clearly in the future when confirmed as to how can that happen. You know, that we have to use our national budget to fund the financial agreement. We need to do that. There is specifically in the last 3 budget laws of this legislature, in the 54, that always requested that the Ministry of Public Works should submit all contractor details in EOQ on those locations of those done in this country, especially the annual road methane in plane. over and again, that information and that is supplied to the legislature through the budget office. I think when confirmed, we should see that as a budget law. Those are main foundations, and this time around, we will not say the budget law is a law, and we will follow that. Because it gives the committee the chance to be able to see exactly the kind of work we're doing. Like my answering Senator Taylor's kind of question about the colleagues about the issue of the project, to know exactly what it's supposed to do and so forth. So that information we have the committee. Regarding your going at the meeting, they're going to sign up, put to Penocan going to refugee people and people coming in, people Putukin, and also to Profile County. And at least $5 million. So we want for you to look into that to see what those amounts are being used, because some of the entire period since the passage of that law, they didn't see the work of the public work on the refugee law. What we saw there is the work of a logging company called Euro Logging, not public work. We need to check on that. Very important. Also, there were roads that were already committed into the budget through the annual maintenance plan, construction plan of the public work and the road fund. For refugee county, I'm going to be very specific. The other colleague will speak for the county, and here to represent refugee county. So there were contracts, bidding contract for the riverbed to Claro Yubo in refugee county. The Swekin to Tatuken, where St. Lawrence.